Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. Another big exciting day in my kitchen. I thought today we would take a trip together. Doesn't that sound great? To Apulia, Italy. It's right above the heel. It's a place I know well. It's a place I have a home, and I will tell you that it is filled with some of the best people and hardest working people and best food you'll ever have in the world, not to mention Italy. And why do I love Apulian cooking is it's rustic. It's right from the earth. Sometimes it looks like it's thrown together, but it's some great, beautiful, delicious ingredients from, if you will, the earth and the air and the sunshine and the water and the vines, and it just comes together. So that's what I'm gonna bring you today. Today we're gonna make a dish that I've had in Puglia many times, and that is a fig, you with me? You still with me? Caramelized onion, right? You hanging in? And goat cheese focaccia bread. And I want to make it in a way that I've had it in Puglia. Now they used a pizza oven, but the rustic cast iron, we're going to throw it right in the oven. It's going to come out. Oh my God, we're going to sprinkle it with rosemary. All right, so let's go over ingredients. This is relatively easy and it's a lot of fun. First, obviously, we're going to need some focaccia bread. So traditionally, focaccia bread is going to be made with like a pizza dough. So I've got here a pound of pizza dough. I've got a couple of great recipes online under Cooking Italian with Joe. Pizza dough, maybe you want to go to the grocery store. I'll tell you another tip. A lot of pizza shops actually will sell you their pizza dough. So one way or the other, you're going to need about a pound of pizza dough. Room temperature, it's fermenting. That is good, right? Now, obviously, we're going to need some figs. So here I've got about 10 ounces of dried figs. We're going to rehydrate these and infuse some flavor back into the figs. It's going to be delicious. I'll show you how. We're going to want 2 onions. Now, I've got sweet onions here. So if you have a really big one, that'll work. If not, I've got 2 medium-sized onions. We're going to need to caramelize those down. I'll show you how to do that. We're going to need some garlic. Oh gosh, love garlic. Garlic is a main staple. It's a foundation to so much cooking in Italy. And the aroma of a kitchen with garlic on the oven with some olive oil, oh, it's gonna be good. All right, now what I've got here is I've got rosemary. Oh, rosemary is such a delicious herb. It goes so delicious with chicken, obviously, and lamb. Absolutely delicious. And I'll tell you, it goes great with focaccia bread and salt, and that's how we're going to use it today. Next, you'll need about 2 tablespoons of butter. We're going to use that to caramelize the onions. Next, we're going to need some salt. I love either a French sea salt or a pink Himalayan. Today we've got pink Himalayan salt. It's briny, it's soft, it's got a lot of good mineral content. It's good for you, and pink Himalayan, it's sexy, right? Okay, now we're gonna add some infusion into those figs and moisture. So one of the tricks I'll use is I'll use port wine. One of the reasons I love port wine is it's sweet, and I like that alcohol content. That'll burn off, by the way, but with the alcohol in there, it acts as a solvent, and it extracts some delicious flavors from the figs. Next, we're gonna need some fresh ground pepper, only way to go. Last but not least, we're going to need some olive oil, guys. Now, I want something grassy, earthy, peppery. I certainly want something from Italy because I really want to capture that, Italian flavor, that rustic Italian flavor. I'm trying to think of the best brand that I could use on the planet. Oh, I know, Vito and Joe's. So for anybody new to our channel, I own a farm in Italy. I named the company after my 2 boys, Vito and Joe. It's in Puglia, Italy. It's right above the heel, right from where today's recipe is. And you guys can grab it because I know you're thinking, geez, I'd love to get a bottle. Right in the description, there's a link, or you can go to my Facebook page, Cooking Italian with Joe, or you can go to my webpage, cookingitalianwithjoe.com. Click it, buy it now. We'll drop ship you a bottle right to your front doorstep. I call it your trip to Italy right in a bottle. Okay, guys, what do you say we get cooking? We'll start making some focaccia bread. So I'm gonna start prepping my onions and my figs. For starters, let's get our onions chopped up because we have to caramelize our onions and our garlic. Easiest way to do this, guys, is just take your onion, cut it right in half, and then just cut the top of the onion off. Leave the bottom intact. Guys, that'll make it a lot easier to peel. And now what I want to do is put some slices in here. And I want these to be a little bit of a larger slice of my onion. So I don't want to make really small slices. I want to make larger ones. And guys, in this case, I'm not going to cross cut because I want long strings of caramelized onion. So I'm just going to cut the bottom off here, and that'll be perfect for my caramelized onions. Next, guys, I want to get my garlic going, so I'm going to hit my 2 bulbs of garlic. Easy way to give a quick peel. Cracks that shell. And guys, we're going rustic Italy. So typically they would crush it like I just did and then put it in some slices here. I realize why vampires don't like garlic because they're not Italian. They're Romanian or Transylvanian or something like that. I don't know. Ooh, look at that. Doesn't that look good? Now let's start caramelizing onions. So I'm going to take about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Yep, you guessed it, Vito and Joe's. And I'm going to put my onions in. I'm going to put my garlic in. I'm going to put my 2 tablespoons of butter in. I'm going to put a pinch of my pink Himalayan in. What I want to do here is get everything coated with the olive oil as best as I can. And remember, guys, we're not frying, we're caramelizing. So we're basically going to keep it at a low to medium heat. We're going to stir it often, and we're looking for golden brown on the onions. Once you get everything stirred, you're going to take a cover, and you want to make sure that cover seals it tight. Next, guys, we've got our figs. I'm going to dump our figs out on the cutting board, and what I want to do is just remove the stem. So some of these don't have a stem. That's perfect. This one's good. See how that one's got a kind of a hard stem? So we just want to cut those stems off. Guys, now I got to cut my figs. So if they're small, cut them in half. If you have a bigger fig, maybe cut it in a third, but we're looking for something about that size. Now these are going to hydrate because they're dehydrated, so they're going to get bigger. Now guys, I'm going to take a small pan and I'm going to fill it up with my figs. I'm going to put a pinch of my pink Himalayan salt right in my figs. And now I'm going to take some port wine and I'm going to put a good third of a cup to half a cup of wine in my figs. Make sure all the figs are covered with the wine. Guys, I'm going to use a medium flame under my figs. I'm going to use a cover. I'm going to let this go for about 15 minutes. I want a really light boil, like a real slight bubble. Let's check our caramelized onions. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. The goal here is to keep the heat low and just keep stirring. Hey guys, it's been about 8 minutes. Let's check our figs. So you see how we got a nice boil going right there? That is perfect. Give it a nice stir. Make sure everything is submerged. See how they're getting bigger? Because they're absorbing that liquid in the port wine. Now what I want to do is put the cover over it. I'm going to shut the heat off. I'm going to leave it right on the burner. I'm going to let it set there for about 25 minutes. Guys, let's check in on our onions. Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. Now I'm going to take my figs that have been sitting there, and what I want to do is see how they're absorbing that liquid, how perfect that is? And I don't want the liquid, so I'm just going to bring it to the side and just do a kind of a spoon drain. I want to put the figs into my onion mixture. And now what I want to do is give this a stir. Now the pan is hot. I shut the heat off, and I want everything to marry with those flavors as best as I can. I'm going to put the lid on for about 5 minutes. Guys, it's been about 5-10 minutes. I took my figs, oh, my caramelized onions and garlic. That smells so good. And that's going to be our sauce. Essentially, it's our Focaccia pizza sauce, if you will, okay? So I'm going to set this aside. I've got my Focaccia bread. And now I'm going to prep my pan, start making my Focaccia bread. Okay, guys, a couple of tips that make this come out great. One, I want that cast iron pan hot. So if you didn't use it to make your caramelized onion, that's fine. Get it in the oven about 375 degrees because I got that oven preheated to cook this Focaccia bread and get it really hot for a good 10-15 minutes or more. Secondly, we're going to want to get some oil in here to prep it. We want the oil on the outside because the oil is going to get hotter than the moisture, and that's what's going to give it a crisp. And obviously, you're going to use Vito and Joe's. I already know that. Make sure your Focaccia bread dough is room temp and it's starting to rise, so it's starting to get some active yeast. It's going to give it flavor and it's going to give it a little lift. It's going to make it nice and airy inside your bread, inside your pizza. A couple other important tips that makes this Focaccia bread come out great. One, when you subscribe to the channel. So you click that red button right there and then you hit the notification bell. So anytime I got a new trip, a new recipe, something going on our blog, Blogging with Borio, if I'm traveling over to Italy, guys, that'll come right to your notification box. And I'll tell you, I mean this sincerely, always means a lot when you subscribe to my channel. And hey, makes you feel part of the family. You know what I'm saying? Secondly, you probably already did, but you know, you got to go online, grab yourself a bottle of olive oil. All right, so let's get this pan going. You're going to take about 2 or 3 tablespoons of Vito and Joe's olive oil. You're going to put it right in the bottom of the pan. You're going to take your Focaccia bread dough and you're going to pull it out. Guys, what I'm going to do now is use the bread and spread that olive oil all the way around, up along the sides and the bottom. And now I'm going to spread it out. Just take a minute. Don't rush this. You want to spread it out. You want to try to make the thickness of your Focaccia bread the same all the way around. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the bread, I'm going to flip it. Now I've got oil on both sides, up along the side. And traditionally now, in order to grab flavor, salt, and oil, you're going to take your fingers, you're going to put a lot of dimples in the top of the Focaccia bread. And those are going to be pockets to grab flavor. Now do it in this order. I'm going to take some of my pink Himalayan, yeah, it's sexy, and I'm going to spread that across the top of the bread. Probably about 1/4 to 1/3 of a teaspoon all the way across. Next, I'm gonna take my fresh ground pepper. The same idea, I'm gonna use about 1/4 to 1/2 of a teaspoon fresh ground pepper. Now I'm gonna take my fig and caramelized onion, I'm gonna spread it right over the top. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just push it down. Not hard, just push it down just a bit. Hey guys, how beautiful does that look? We're done. I'm gonna pop it in the oven, preheated, 375. We're gonna go about 15 to 20 minutes. So check it right around 12 to 13 minutes. I got a high-tech device to make sure I don't burn my pizza timer. So I'm gonna pop that sucker right, like I said, about 12 and a half minutes. Now while the pizza's cooking here about 15 minutes, I've got my goat cheese. I wanna get that goat cheese at room temperature. I wanna break it up, and I wanna get my rosemary ready. So I got my sprig of rosemary, and I'm just gonna break it off here. What you're gonna wanna do is any of these stems, just pull across the back side if you're using fresh rosemary, because I just want those leaves. And guys, with my rosemary, I just want to do a rough chop on it, okay? So it doesn't have to be perfect. If you got a couple of big leaves there, it's still good. Oh, look at that, isn't that beautiful? Okay, rosemary's done, goat cheese is done, your subscribe notification bell, got the olive oil, boom. Talk to you guys in a couple minutes. Guys, 12 minutes just went up. Guys, look at that, is that beautiful? All right, we're not quite done yet. Now, real fast, I wanna put some goat cheese on my pizza. Break it up, crumble it as best you can. And last, I got my rosemary, guys. So I'm gonna do a nice light sprinkle over the top. Guys, been 5 minutes, I just pulled it out, and what's happening, you could just see the cheese starting to melt, which is exactly what I want, but it still keeps its integrity. And then see how the rosemary, it's just starting to cook, and that's gonna release those oils of flavor. Oh, guys, favorite time, taste time. Let's do it. See our crust, how perfect it is? Guys, I got my slice out, look at how beautiful. You got crisp on the bottom, nice and crunchy on the crust. This puppy's hot. All right, so we're gonna cut into this. Every bite of this is perfect piece. And what's great about this, look at the fig, the onion, the garlic, goat cheese. Oh, the aroma, just fantastic. The first thing that hits your nose is the goat cheese and the rosemary. And the first thing that hits your tongue is the flavor of that fig, the sweetness, the caramelized onions. And then what's great is you're chewing it, you're getting just flavor after flavor, and it mixes all those flavors together. And the focaccia bread is just perfect. And as you're going through it, you get that texture, that crunch, because there's crunch on the outside and underneath. And I love the little crunch from the figs, you know, the little seeds. Boy, if that isn't deliciousness in a cast iron pan. Guys, thanks for taking a trip to Apulia, Italy with me and joining me in my kitchen. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Make it part of the family, you know what I'm saying? Hit our Facebook page, our web page, or just the link above. Click buy it now, grab yourself a bottle of Vito and Joe's olive oil. Your trip to Italy right in a bottle. And remember, my most important tip, guys, every week, couple times a month, shut the TV off. Collect the cell phones. Get the computers off. Get around the table with your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles. Tell stories, celebrate your heritage, and most importantly, set some traditions. They'll last you a lifetime. I know they did for me. Hey, from my kitchen to yours, until next week, mwah, buon appetito.